T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
There we go. Can people hear me? Whoa. Can people hear me? Man. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay, we got me? Wow. What happened there? That was weird. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, on my part. Wow. All right, let's see if let's try this again. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to North Sports Dynasty and Bucks Report's after show here on Bucks Report. Not too sure what happened to the sound there, ladies and gentlemen. That was insane. I happened to look down. My board was all good, but like lights were a little paused there for a second. I'm like, what? But I'm glad we're back on. All right, let's talk about this Bucks dub. We got the dub today, 31-15 over the Philadelphia Eagles. They came into the house. Our fans were screaming, Eagles suck, from the top of their lungs. And I am so happy that I got to see some live footage from behind the scenes there, from the stadium, of all these fans basically giving it to the Eagles. What a great showcasing, to be completely honest. Also, the respect. Because I also saw some of these fans just being nice with these little flags, being like, exit this way, here we go. So great showcasing for the fans, and also great showcasing for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 31-15 over the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get right into it. Again, I can't believe there was no sound. I got to make sure the comment section is open before I start going. Man, apologies to all the people again. That's the first time I've ever done that. But you look at me go. All right. So Tom Brady here, ladies and gentlemen. 29 for 37, 271 yards, 2 TDs. Pretty damn good showcasing for the lack of targets that he had this game. Also, the lack of playmakers, in my honest opinion. Keyshawn Vaughn, 17 carries, 53 yards. Giovanni Bernard, 13 carries, 44 yards. Both of those gentlemen getting a TD, with Scotty Miller bringing up the rear with a nice one carry for 9 yards. Mike Evans, my God. Mike Evans, 9 receptions, 117 yards, and a TD. Giovanni Bernard and Rob Gronkowski both catching 5 receptions. Giovanni Bernard getting 39, Rob Gronkowski getting 31, and Rob getting that TD. My MVP choice for the Buccaneers going forward, because if it wasn't for Gronkowski, especially in this game, I don't think it would necessarily be a different score. I just think we would have a different thing going forward. Like, So Tyler Johnson, 2 for 30. Cameron Brate, 3 for 29. Keyshawn Vaughn, 2 for 9. And Scotty Miller, Brashad Perriman, and OJ Howard bringing up the rear with a catch each. What a good showcasing for Tyler Johnson, right? Not. He's doing better. He's got to stop slowing down when Brady needs him to just run. I know he doesn't want to get hit, but he's got to showcase himself before he can be trusted into the hands of Brady going forward. And I think he's going to showcase a little bit more. I'm not going to lie. But he's got to pick it up just a little bit. But I'm glad he got those 2 catches for 30 yards, and he's showing a little bit of progress. Not as much as we would hope, but he's showing a little bit of progress. So on the defensive side, Mike Edwards, the game. Jamal Dean slipping on the coverage, open in the end zone. Mike Edwards just streams over, catches the pick. What a great pick that was. He also got 9 tackles. 9 tackles. Jamal Dean, Jordan Whitehead, Antoine Winfield, all those guys basically bringing up the rear to make this a defensive stand and a half. Not necessarily the type of defensive stand I thought we were going to have. I'm not going to lie. I thought this game would be a little bit more. But what a great showcasing for Devin White and Levante David and the rest of the company on the defensive side of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is exactly what we needed from them. They only got 2 sacks. Steve McClendon, Antoine Winfield, they're the only guys getting the sack. We still came up, and we basically shut them out until the 4th quarter. There's just garbage points at that point. This is a pretty damn good defense. I'm just saying. The other pick went to Shaq Barrett with one of the sickest picks I've seen by an edge rusher in a long time. Also, it was said, and I just lost the player, but was said on the post-game interviews that was one of the craziest edge rushing picks someone has ever seen, and that is a major turning point for the Buccaneers. That ain't from me. That's from the player's mouth itself. Cheers for a moment. What a victory. Isn't it nice knowing now that we can still be calm? We can still worry a little bit because it's playoff time, but know that we're actually going to get the result that we actually wanted to have. Last year, we had a close one in the first round against the Washington football team, a team that is out of the same division. And they did not too bad against us. The Eagles here, they need more parts. They got the right idea going forward, but I don't know if it's necessarily everything that they want. They need another wide receiver. They need help, like they do. But also at the same time, too, they just need a culture change, like we had. Our culture change just happened, ladies and gentlemen. We are a winning team. We're winning games in the playoffs. When we look back at this 10 years from now, we're going to be very happy that we made this decision with Tom Brady to get away from the first round draft pick, the first overall draft pick that we did make, and go with the decision that has led to championships and so far undefeatedness in the postseason under this quarterback, under this regime. Our coaches are looking like they're going to get picked off, and that sucks, but this is one step. This is one step. And we got 3 more teams to beat in order to get exactly where we want to be. And now next weekend, we wait. Tomorrow night, that's when we find out who we play. We'll either play the Los Angeles Rams, who we had a hard time in week 3 against, or the Arizona Cardinals, who I'm not going to lie, I don't want to play either of those guys. But because I got a buddy who is, a Cardinals fan, and I also have another buddy who's a Rams fan, it's going to be interesting either way. I don't want to play either team. But also, I want those teams. Because now comes the fun part. Now we're playing the real teams. The Eagles went 7-0 against non-playoff teams. They also went 0-7 against playoff teams. That's not exactly the greatest stat, but it's also, they got to the playoffs. These teams that we're about to play here, these are real teams. The Cardinals are a real team. The Rams are a real team. That's just the way it is. And to be completely honest with you, when we look at the matchups that we're going against here, one team made a trade for a big old Matt Stafford. And he's come in there, had a great connection with Cooper Kupp, has made it for one of the greatest dynasty seasons for some owners, but also fantasy season for a lot of these other guys. This is something that they are building in Los Angeles, despite their jerseys, that is actually looking respectably pretty damn good. And it is not something that we are going to want to host here in Tampa. It's the same thing with the Cardinals. Cardinals are stacked. Air raid offense? No, thank you. The defensive side, though lacks on, one, which I believe is, the run game. I don't have all the stats on me. Cardinals lack on the run game, but their passing game is pretty damn good. Right now, we only got Keyshawn Vaughn, Giovanni Bernard. Till playoff Lenny is cleared. It's not all smooth sailings like everybody is hoping for. We got to do better. We have to do better. But this game here has proven a few things. One, number 13 is the best wide receiver of this generation, and I don't even think it's close. And at the end of his career, when all is about to be said and done, he will be in the conversation of Larry Fitzgerald. Where you, the fans out there, can you tell me the top 5 wide receivers of all time? Jerry Rice is up there. Randy Moss is up there. T.O. is probably up there. But Larry Fitzgerald is up there. Oh, Andrew, he doesn't have a Super Bowl. No, but he's got a lot of other stats. And what he's done on the field and the development that he's helped for other quarterbacks puts him in a top 5, maybe top 6, depending on what your stat or what your top 5 would be. But in the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, depending on how Mike Evans lasts or how long Mike Evans lasts, the 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, the Super Bowl that he has, and the possibly 2 that he's about to get, and then you just go and you put the damn film on. Mike Evans is the best wide receiver in the league right now. And I don't want to say it's not even close. No, because there's people who make it close. It's not like when Megatron played or anything like that. No. But Mike Evans brings, when healthy, this extra woo into it. We don't have Chris Godwin. We don't have AB. We are still banged up. We don't have playoff Lenny. And having Mike Evans and the surrounding cast that we have right now should not technically be enough to beat some of these playoff teams. The coverage that they have, putting Darius Slay Jr. on Mike Evans, that's the type of coverage. That's the type of corners that go and stay on number 1 wide receivers. And yet he still came out and got 117 yards in the TD. There is other wide receivers. I see a couple that got brought up. The Devontae Adams, D-Hop. I agree with those. Those are very good wide receivers. But if I had the choice on a team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown weren't there, I just got a taste of it. Yeah, it was against the Eagles, but let's not kid ourselves. The Eagles' defense is not that far off statistically, as we saw at the beginning of the game, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In all categories. Darius Slay is a good shutdown corner. Carlton Davis is a great shutdown corner. Both of them are great shutdown corners. Darius Slay stayed on Mike Evans, and Mike Evans still got 117 yards. That means next week, whoever we play, Budda Baker and company, the Arizona Cardinals, there's a corner there that I'm missing. I know he's a good one, and I'm sure Chris Warstruck, our NSD analyst for the Cardinals, probably yell at me and be like, "It's this guy, you dummy." But I can also tell you right now, like on the Rams side, if it's Ramsey that we have to go up against, for a fact that Gronk and Tyler Johnson and the rest of the company, Cameron Brate, those are the gents that are going to have to pick it up. But it's that kind of coverage that allows you to see the field a little bit more when you have someone like Mike Evans. In my opinion, the greatest wide receiver in the NFL right now. So who do you want to see? Who do you honestly want to see right now? We have the choice not the choice really. We have to see the winner. But as of right now, it's the Rams or the Cardinals. Who do you, the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, want to see win? Or who do you want to see come to Tampa Bay and lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Which one of these teams do you want to see win in order to come to Tampa Bay and lose? Because as San Francisco is going to Green Bay, and I do not think they are going to do anything to the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the 2 teams that I got playing in the NFC Championship. And I'm still holding true to that. It's not the team that I want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to play at all. No, nuh-uh. But it looks like it's probably what's going to happen. We're going to have to go through the Rams or the Cardinals. And then either through Brady's team, through some miracle, Brady's team that he wanted to play with, his favorite team, or we're going to be playing the Packers. Aaron Rodgers' possible last hoorah for Lambeau Field, where legends come to play. One of the hardest fields to come and play at. Well, we did that last year. I really don't think anybody's going to want us to come and play there again. That's for damn sure. Let's get to some of the comments here. I see Alex Schomburg got the win for you, Drew. I saw you on a couple of your videos there. It's cool to see that a lot of the fans were out today. Carl Hardy said our defense is back. And then, of course, me being unprofessional and everyone telling me for like so long, too. God damn. I'm so sorry, everybody. And then, of course, it came back on. So, oh, my God. Bucks outplayed the Eagles. Agreed. Like I said, the Eagles need this draft, in my opinion. Like if they choose to stay with Jalen Hurts, or if there's for some odd reason they can go out there and get a quarterback, and they have to deal with this roster, you might get the same thing from the of them next year. Probably about 9-8, 10-7, maybe. If for some odd reason they got like an Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson or a Russell Wilson or any of those type of quarterbacks that are rumored to be available, but probably not. I think that would only give them an extra win. But this draft, they can go and grab 3 first-round players, one of them being a wide receiver, one of them more than likely being another offensive lineman or defensive lineman, and then the other being more than likely just the best defensive player that's available at that pick. So the Eagles, they got outplayed, but they're not going to be outplayed for long. I was wrong about them. I had them at 4-12 or 4-13. I was definitely wrong about the Eagles, and so were a lot of people. Bucks against Ram or Cardinals. Oof, Niners did you no favor. Well, to be honest, I would if the Cowboys came back to win that game. That's something that I don't want to play against. Is a team that all of a sudden is running off of say miracle. I don't want. No, thank you. I don't want to play teams that are winning off miracles. So, Juju is back for the Steelers. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that he was back for the game. I haven't actually watched too much of the game. I was watching part of the other game because I won a little bit of money from that game. Yeah, that was great. So, Yakin Ben Israel's laughing at the Juju there. Eagles will trade Hurts and go after Watts. It depends on who they bring in now for the Texans, don't you think? I mean, if they bring in, say for some odd reason they were to land Jim Harbaugh, I think Jim Harbaugh would want, or John, whichever one's out of college there or in college there. And Alex would shoot me because I don't know that. But the one that's in college there, if he was able to come over, I don't think he would necessarily want a Jalen Hurts. Probably want more of a pro-style quarterback or like a Dak or something like that. So, but I understand what you're saying with that. Sean Smithers, I told you, Tampa Bay. Damn rights you did. Damn rights. Eagles, I think, now are much more likely to pick up Ridley. Send Atlanta the picks 2022. Dirty Birds rise up here. You know what? Calvin Ridley, I think because of some of the injuries on these major Alabama wide receivers and the rise now of some of these other guys like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Drake London, John Dotson. Is it John Dotson? Jahan Dotson. There's a couple of those guys. The Trey Burks, dude, I personally like. So a couple of those guys will start rising for sure. So maybe if you guys had the 18th, 19th, 20th pick now, maybe around there, yeah, you could trade that. Get Calvin Ridley. That'd be interesting for the Eagles. When Brady leaves, the Bucks won't sniff the playoffs for another 15 years. Well, that's not very nice. There's ways that they're doing the right things that the other teams that have, traded everything or given up a lot of things to win now. The Buccaneers haven't necessarily done that. They use their money to do that, right? The influence with Brady there, they could take those draft picks and actually draft around and get some depth and get some youth ready for when the inevitable does happen. So it's not that I don't think they'll sniff the playoffs. I think that, if next year they get Brady and then it's after that, they put in Kyle Trask for 2 years or whatever, it's going to be rough sales for us as Buck fans. Yeah, for a little bit, but 7-10 for a couple of years and then all of a sudden hitting over that hump wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing. So, but we're not going to be laughing stock anymore. We got a winning culture around here, which is kind of nice. The Bucks had their B game in the first 3 quarters and their C- game in the fourth quarter, and we still won by 16, and we should have won by a lot more. Yeah, agreed. Doesn't it feel that this team can just get to that 55 burger if everybody was healthy? But it just seems that if we play this style of game and we can keep up this type of weird consistency that we have had with the lack of, key players, I think that we can do a lot of damage to the Rams or the Cardinals next weekend, and then to either the 49ers or the Packers after that. So we got to play better. We got to get some of these guys back off of injuries. And yeah, like Jim's saying here, we got to stop playing C- in the fourth quarter. Just because we're winning the first 3 quarters of the game does not mean that we have won the fourth quarter immediately or automatically. That's never how it is. So I would like to see us play a lot better in the fourth quarter for sure. Chris Cole, we won. Cowgirls lost, and the Chiefs are in a battle. Is it? Well, it's the second quarter, and it's 0-0. I got plus 13 or plus 13 and a half for the Steelers just to, be within that grasp. Put a little bit of money on it, to keep the streak going. And then Cal said, of course, Devontae Adams, D-Hop. I don't know, just saying. Okay, got you. The other one I throw in there that's keeps getting underrated is Keenan Allen. So, hello, mates. I'm from Canada. What is a Tampa Bay Buck? Yakin, you're from Canada too? Which side of Canada are you from? Because, man, I'm from Canada. I'm up here in Canada. I'm enjoying Canada. My house is actually doing some weird stuff right now. Our weather is crazy up here, dude. We had like minus 49 with the wind chill literally like a week and a half ago. And then for the last 5 days, it's been like 4 degrees. And that's like Celsius. Like it's bipolar up here. And that's not good polar. So where are you from, buddy? Mike Evans is a stud, though, not taking anything away. Oh, no, I know what you're saying. And believe me, it's the same type of off-season conversations that people had, right? A couple years ago when you guys had Julio and Calvin Ridley, people were like, well, that's the best, right? That's the best duo. And it's like, well, I mean, I'd still pick Evans and Godwin. And people are like, meh, Michael Thomas and anyone they put in there in New Orleans. How's that going for you now, slant boy? And then they would, even just in our division, they would throw in the Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. So now if you were to take that comparison, it's like, well, we're obviously going with the Bucks, but like there's other teams now. It's like, yeah. Just keep doubting us. Mike Evans is still the best in my opinion. And it's not necessarily bias. Even if I wasn't a Buccaneers fan, I'd probably still be on board with him. So move to the left so I can watch the game behind you. Sadly, I would get copywritten for that. So gotta block it a little bit, right? Gotta keep a little bit of blocking on it. And then Carl Hardy said the Cardinals that he would want to play. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, hell no. But not a too bad erudition. Ray Kennedy, thank you for tuning in, brother. Rams, only because the Rams deserve more to be there. Bucks beating the Rams will prove a lot. Well, true. Bucks beating the Cardinals would also prove a lot. Plus, like I said, Chris, our friend Chris in NSD League, and our Cardinals analyst at NSD, we just wouldn't talk to each other. Like after tomorrow's game, he'd be like, "Hey, bud," and I'd be like, "Nope." Talk to you after next week's game, kind of thing. Probably go for some drinks or whatever if we're allowed to leave our houses. Cards, they're a less complete team than the Rams. Ooh. Do not trust Bama's QBs. My God. Hey, two of them were in the playoffs, and all 3 almost got to the playoffs, so it's not too bad. Ben from Las Vegas is back to comment on this show. Ben Cornett, thank you for tuning in, buddy. About halfway through here. Wanted to say hi to everybody. Jim Harbaugh, Andrew Hunt. It's Jim or John, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. Brady is a large part of the Bucs' success, but and this is coming from a Falcons fan, but do not sleep on the Bucs. They have dangerous pieces, and they won't just fall to the bottom. They won't fall to the bottom. I think we'll fall out of the playoffs maybe for a little bit when Brady's gone. It's different when that type of person leads. Like, look at the Patriots. They missed the playoffs the first year, but they still got 7 wins. So I think, and I know I'll get slack because, people will throw all the different things at me. I think once Brady is gone, and if we inevitably have to throw Kyle Trask in and Bruce Arians retires, Todd and Byron both get picked off by somebody, and we have to bring in a new head coach or whatever, Kyle Trask is going to have to learn under that system. And if he doesn't work under that system for the first or second year, we're going to have to go in and draft another quarterback. But also by that time, Arch Manning will be available. So, are we all going to be really that upset if all of a sudden in 4 years, Arch Manning fell in our lap? Come on now. 4 or 5 years? I don't think so. But obviously that's thinking way outside the box. That's for the GMs and some of the guys in office to really think about if they are still there, obviously. So, at least the Bucs defense looks like the D that won it all last year. Do they though? The three-headed monster really came into play, and I mean that by saying our corners really came into play and started doing amazing things for the playoffs. Yeah, they let in the big plays go on them, and after that, it was complete dominance. I think right now they're starting to see the holes in the Buccaneers defense, and teams are just trying to dedicate themselves to capitalizing on those holes instead of actually doing bad against the Buccaneers defense as a whole. You know what I mean? The Buccaneers defense is doing great. Absolutely fantastic. I don't want to take too much away from them, obviously, because this is we're in the playoffs now. But there needs to be a little bit more out of them. I need to hear Devin White, his name called a little bit more. I need to hear Levante David's name called a little bit more. Carlton Davis cannot be taking his helmet off like that. I understand. I totally understand why he did it. And I could even hear him say it was after the whistle. It's after the play is dead. So whatever. And I get that. But we don't need this kind of stuff biting us in the ass or having this happen at the most inappropriate time whatsoever. So there needs to be a little bit more consistency. Just a little bit more. And I think that consistency that can happen on our defense could take us to the championship, because right now, not having Chris Godwin, not having AB, not having playoff Lenny, and the injury bug that is hitting us on the offensive line right now is a lot. It is a lot. We're going to talk about that. This injury bug that we have seen in the regular season is one thing, because it allows Tyler Johnsons and the Keyshawn Vaughns and everybody like that to get a little bit more play. And if for some odd reason they don't start making it work, or they don't do that well, we can change the game plan in the regular season. And if we lose that game, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's because the game plan didn't work. The adjustments didn't work. We can regroup and figure out a different way next week. Can't do that in the playoffs. This is one and done. This is it. We got a home game next weekend still. But we're playing real matchups here. So comparing our defense right now, and again, not to take too much away from them, because they are playing great. Like Ben Cornette is saying, they are playing great. But remember when we played the Rams? It was not an easy game to play. That's Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Cam Akers is available for the Rams. That right there, because he's a great running back. And if he actually starts going off, that's where the Rams can beat us. Because Vita Vea is great. Our linebackers are great. Shaq is doing fantastic. JPP is doing fantastic. And Sue, everybody like that. But there just needs to be more emphasis out of them. Just a little bit more nastiness. because our offensive side is taking a massive hit right now. And all it is going to take is one bad injury or one bad play on the defensive side against some of these enemies, some of these matchups that we're coming up against, to really hinder us. Like, we can't have what Carlton Davis had all the time. Can't have that. Doesn't matter if we're winning. Games can change that quickly. And we know that because Tom Brady has played in a lot of these games. The 28-3 game. Peyton Manning. We need to just have a little bit more emphasis on the defensive side in order to beat some of these really good teams like the Rams or the Cardinals or the 49ers. Despite their record, the 49ers are the one team in the playoffs I really do not want to play against. Deebo Samuel healthy is that player that I do not want to have going up against the Bucs right now. On the Rams side, Cooper Kupp can be shut down by pressure going to Matt Stafford. That's the easiest way to beat the Rams. The easiest way to beat the Cardinals is just playing man and making Kyler have to run. And as long as Devin White or Levante is covering that little guy, and I mean that with all respect, we can do the pretty damn good against the Cardinals defensively matchup. Packers is a little bit more of a complicated one to describe the game plan that we can do, but as long as it's respectively mirrored to what happened last year, I think we could do good. It's going up against that offense on the 49ers. I don't really want that at all. I really don't want that at all. That's a hard one to deal with because George Kittle is one of a tight end. Those wide receivers, the running back out of nowhere too. Like Trey Sermon was a 3rd round pick, and then Elijah Mitchell was a 6th round pick. And all of a sudden we're using the 6th round pick, and the 3rd round pick is sitting on the bench. And Deebo Samuel is being used as a damn running back. He's got 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns this year. That's insane. That's an offense I don't want. Their offensive line is good as well on the 49ers. Do not underestimate that line. And we had to trade with them in order to get Tristan Wirfs. And some people are like, well, they didn't need Tristan Wirfs. They had this guy and this guy. At that point, they did not have Trent Williams. They went and got Trent Williams after that. So they could have put Tristan Wirfs either at left tackle or McGlinchey, which I believe is their right tackle right now, over to left. And then said, we're going to deal with it that way. But instead, they knew exactly what they were going to go do. And they were going to go get Trent Williams, and they were going to give him his contract. And so instead, they got an extra draft pick out of it, and we ended up with Tristan Wirfs. And both the guys that I just spoke of are in the All-Pro. So I do not want the 49ers at all. I'm kind of glad that we got to deal with one of the other. But the 49ers offense would really scare me going up against the Buccaneers defense unless the Buccaneers defense is 100% healthy. Even to the point where Richard Sherman is available to play in the slot. 100%. 100%. Just that extra knowledge being on the field with Richard Sherman, his availability on like a key 4th down, him knowing what wide receivers do and how they look and these rookies that he would be going up against. 100%. The 3-headed monster's got to be all ready to go. That's the type of stuff that I would need for the Buccaneers to go up against the 49ers. And we could talk about the Packers. I know a lot of people would throw the Packers, and that's the other team I don't want to play either. But I've been watching this 49ers team for the last couple of weeks, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody else out there, but that's a team right now that looks dangerous. The Bengals in the AFC also look pretty flippin' dangerous too. And what a Super Bowl rematch that would be if you can get the Bengals and the 49ers. Like, what? I don't think it's going to happen, but I think the one best team that has a chance to actually beat the Kansas City Chiefs, which I still think is the team that's going to come out of the AFC. Bills are looking pretty good too, it's funny. I said, and I see just right where Buck Skull King in the house says it. How about Bills? I literally, right when you said that too, I said it. I agree. Bills are starting to look pretty good too, especially when you beat that divisional rivals. So, Right here. The NFL said there's a possibility they will give the Jaguars to Canada. Winnipeg Jaguars. I don't. Out of all the places, I don't think they would send the Jaguars to Winnipeg. Though, if they wanted to get the fan base literally right out of the way, that's the one place that you can do it. Blue Bombers win Grey Cups up here, and they got a fan base. And that's really the only place that you would do. I'd probably move to Winnipeg if all of a sudden the Jags were up here and you got me like Trevor Lawrence and some of those guys to enjoy for a while. Hell yeah. Just don't think they go to Winnipeg. They go to Toronto just because you can get like 3 times the population just to come in through like radio ads. Or radio contests. Like, you won tickets to the NFL game. They'd be like, what? Oh my God, do we have an NFL team? That's insane. How did they fly up here and play? It's amazing. Don't we have 3 down football? I'd be like, oh my God. Yak and a Buccaneer is a Pirate. Yeah, buddy. Bucks sucks. Saints Nation, baby. Who that? Who dat is right. Like, aren't they supposed to be in the playoffs around this time of year? It's kind of depressing. We literally handed you 2 wins in the regular season. You couldn't do anything with that. And we gave you our first overall pick. Take the one off. See, we gave you that dude right there. That dude right there. And you still can't do nothing with him. You got injured. And don't start throwing excuses in my comment section, man. Looks bad on you. KC 0, Steelers 0. Is that all? TD Steelers? Let me turn around. Wow. See, this is the reason you don't believe the hype like that sometimes. Just saying. We played bad against the Rams and still almost won. That won't be the case if we play them again. No, this is exactly. Sean McVay is a different animal when it comes to coaching as well. Sean McVay is a very, very, very good coach. He's a very good coach. And this is a very good matchup planning on him. Bruce Arians is more my game plan. This is what we do. Make adjustments within the game. Sean McVay is I make adjustment before game, ram that down your throat. And if for some odd reason it's not working, his mid-game adjustments are very scary as well. Cliff Kingsbury, again, I kind of lean with some of these people, and I don't want this to be clipped because my buddy Chris will use it in some sort of like a hype video or whatever. But if there's one coach I would rather play, I'd rather play Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff is kind of the same way that Bruce Arians is. This is my system. This is my offense. Have fun with it. Go enjoy. I kind of agree. His adjustments aren't the worst, but they aren't the best either, as we have seen. So I'm just looking behind me. KC has tied it up 7-7. Hey, there we go. So it's different, man. It's different. Bucks are not real Super Bowl chance. They are COVID chance. Not in 02. Saints fans are desperate, man. They're coming on this one. They're coming on this show. And they're just acting desperate, man. It's really bad on them. Best part of today's game was when Arians went all dementia on Andrew Adams. Great stuff. Some people were, like complaining, like Bruce Arians shouldn't have hit this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever. These are professionals and they're making millions of dollars. If it's actual abuse, this is the reason why they have HR. Like, I kid you not. Like, if people don't understand, HR exists at place to protect you and the company, obviously. But if you are being ever like abused or something like that at work or being treated unfairly, there's this thing called HR. You can use those services to protect yourself. Okay. Just get that up. Carl Hardy says Steelers up 7-0. Yeah. Now it's all tied from what I saw there. This team is so undisciplined. Cough, cough. Arian is at fault. Vigilante, thank you for tuning in. Not as bad as the Cowboys. Not as bad as the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a very undisciplined team. That undisciplinary that they dealt with today really caused them the game. Yeah, 49ers kind of, in my honest opinion, they had that win. Couple of bad throws by Jimmy Garoppolo, which are going to be used against him by the fans of the 49ers in the offseason and by people who are like, oh, we shouldn't be trading for Garoppolo because he throws interceptions at the worst time and he doesn't have the deep ball to throw in Super Bowl and it dropped. And all of that is just misfabrications. And we could do the same thing with literally any other quarterback out there. Anybody. Brady has had missed throws as well. Last year, before the whole offseason before this season, we dealt with the Ain't fans here saying, hey, Mr. Noodle Arm can't throw and stuff like that. No, we outproved them that, Brady threw way more deep balls than Drew Brees could in the last 4 years, first of all. Drew Brees literally showed that I'm trying to retire, guys. I'm sorry. Whereas Brady's actually gotten better, right? So we are doing better in the disciplinary, but I do agree. We need to be better. And we need to make sure that we can get some depth in there. Like we got John Brown on the practice squad, ready to go for the playoffs if we need to. We need to start looking for another offensive lineman out there just to get in the mix. Let's get that taken care of. Let's make sure our penalties are taken care of every game, and I think we'll be fine. If we play the Niners, it'll be a home game. We'll be defending the Bay. I'm 100% with you. 100%. But that's the matchup, man. That's the matchup. Because, even if we have to play, say, out of the AFC, who would we have to play? We'd have to play my cat. Kitty loves. Come here. Damn cat's going to be meowing because the door's all closed. Apologies for that. For all the people that we got to play out of the AFC, we got to play either, the Bills or the Titans or the Chiefs or someone like that. Those are not the teams that I want to be playing either. But we have a very good chance against all of them. We've beaten the Chiefs before. We've beaten the Bills. The Titans don't necessarily hold a flipping candle to us, in my opinion. So, 49ers, I know we'll be home against them, but again, I don't want to play the 49ers. I really don't. Bucks had first and goal from the 4 to go up 21 from here on out. They need to go up 21-0. Just from now on, don't stop. Foot to the neck, 21-0. That's how we win a game. Honestly, great damn recipe if you ask me. It's a damn good recipe if you ask me. We're going to go up 21-0 on every single team, and we got to make them get 3 touchdowns on us. Because then all we got to do is meh. And score another 3 touchdowns in the next 3 quarters after that, and we'll be fine. Totally agree with you. Victory Monday going to work is going to be great. Bucks are threats. Let's go, Bucks. Hells yeah, we are threats. But see, that's the thing. Me personally, I don't like going too hardcore, being we're the fire, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 because we don't have the Chris Godwin and all that. If we had the whole healthy squad again, if we had 31-15 with the entire healthy squad that we're supposed to have right now, I'd be a little upset. It'd be 45-17 or 15. That's what it should be. So, Steelers upset Chiefs right now. I would love to. I'm going to go check on the live betting here right after the show's done to see if I could pick up some extra bucks. Ben Cornett, I actually think the 49ers are a great matchup for the Bucks. Our defense has speed to stop guys like Samuel. That's true. That is true. You eliminate Debo and Kittle, the Bucks should handle the Niners easily. Garoppolo isn't always reliable when the game is in his hands. His pick late today almost cost them the game. And that's the other reason I wouldn't mind playing them, is because they tend to have those little fourth quarter blemishes or defeats where they're not playing as well as they've played before. The Debo and Kittle, 100%. The only issue with that is after that they got that one wide receiver whose name I cannot remember, who's actually Garoppolo's third option there, and Ayuk. Ayuk has got the superstar ability that we don't need to just be leaving him out in space by himself. That's for sure. And those running backs, listen, if Khalil Herbert can come out of nowhere for the Bears this year and put up 100 yards plus on the Buccaneers, I'm not going to say that Elijah Mitchell or even Debo himself can't rush for 100 yards on our Buccaneers defense. Our defense, I'm just saying, our defense needs to play a little bit better, add a little bit more emphasis to you wanting to win these games in the first and third quarters, like from first to third quarters. And the fourth quarter will be handed to you. You know what I mean? Like just dominate a little bit more and keep it consistent. I don't necessarily need a goose egg. It would be absolutely fantastic if you laid 2 goose eggs for the opposing offenses for the next 2 games until we go to the Super Bowl. Then that actually gives me ammunition to say this is the greatest defense of all time. It's the greatest fucking defense of all time, hands down. Who lays 2 goose eggs in a row in the greatest game or in the most intense games of all time? The Bucks? Hells yeah. Hands down greatest defense of all time. If that happened, though. So we do match up. We match up great against all remaining opponents, if you really think about it. It's just their offenses also have the ability to match up well against our defenses. Same with their defenses match up well against our offense. Like the Rams defense is probably the one defense I wouldn't necessarily want to play with. If this injury with Wagner ends up being major, it's going to be a lot easier if we were to have to play the 49ers. As bad as that sounds, obviously, I just don't obviously want to play the Cardinals defense either, because Isaiah Simmons and company, like Javon Collins, Chandler Jones, and JJ Watt, all those guys, that's a pretty nasty bunch too. It's just, that's all over the place. The Packers defense is just kind of like a whole package of a pretty good defense, but they're like Swiss cheese. They got holes as well. Same with the Rams. I understand that the Rams got more holes than say all these other teams, but they got like literal number 1 overall players at some of those positions. Like having Vaughn Miller, having Aaron Donald, having Jalen Ramsey, having Floyd or Lloyd. I can't remember that other linebacker's name. Like those guys there are key pieces to that defense. I'm like, so hysterical. Thank you, Jim. How internet over there? It's expensive, dude. Just like our cell phone bills. Like I pay $120 a month from what I've seen in the States people can get for like $40. And I'm just like, and people in Canada, you know what? We need Canadian businesses to be Canadian and have, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? At this point, some of you American businesses want to come up here and invade like our markets, please. I'll literally give you $60. I'll pay $75 a month. I will if it saves me a little bit of cash. Also, can I please just watch Peyton's Palace or Places, the Tom Brady documentaries? Get none of it up here. It's quite depressing. How's the food? Oh, buddy. When we do cook, we got good food. Like, I'm gonna say moose meat is still the best meat we got up here. Like you gotta get it like an actual hunter to go get that for you. You don't usually just get that at a restaurant. Actually, I don't even think you can buy it at restaurants anymore. But if you get someone that has shot a moose, who's got the tag and everything, has got permission to go get the moose, and you actually have the balls to go with them and watch someone actually shoot down one of those effing things. And if you think, I don't know where a few of you Americans are, but if you don't know the size of at least say like a Canadian moose and how big those mother effers can get up here, just imagine sitting on a horse, like on the back of a horse, and you're riding like a full size, like a Mustang or show horse or whatever the hell it is. Okay. The back of a moose would literally, while you're on that horse, be just at like the tip of your head. That would be the back of it. And then you obviously add its horns and stuff. Those things are fudging huge, man. You kill one of those things, you make steak and ground beef out of that. It's the best damn meat you're ever going to have. Damn, they are so good. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will go to the Super Bowl, and they will win the Super Bowl again. William Michael Freeman, thank you for tuning in tonight. And I think so, too. I'm hoping, buddy. I am hoping. Just like I've been waiting all night. Where's my Fred Moore telling me 17-4? Come on, Fred. I've been waiting all night for you, man. I'm almost done my show tonight, too. Bucks defense amazing, too. No, they are. They are. And this is just me. This is just saying to get the results that we want at the end of the day, which is another one of those Super Bowls and the party and everything. And I'm not going to lie, if I could find a way to get down there, which I'm probably not going to be able to, but if I could, I would. But in order to get the parties and stuff like that, yes, we just need more consistency. Everybody to just push it. There's only 3 more games, man. Doesn't matter the opponent. Just 3 more games. Just fucking drive it in. Great point. If we had everyone from last year's playoffs, we would be unstoppable. But that's the thing. That is football. Because some of the other teams that we'd be playing against as well would also be saying the same thing, right? I think I just had the team Arizona Cardinals. Like if we had to play the Arizona Cardinals with D-Hop, like no, thank you at all. Are you kidding me? No, I don't want any part of that Arizona defense or offense if D-Hop is in there. Because then AJ Green gets one-on-one matchups. Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk. Like we're asking like D Delaney at that point to go up against possible number ones. Like that's no. Who is our third best receiver? Evans, Gronk, third Bray. As of right now, due to injuries, I say Brate's probably the more consistent. He's got a lot of trust with Brady. So yeah, I would say Brate. Though Tyler Johnson might just come into it soon. You know what I mean? He might just kick it into overdrive. So we'll see what happens. Preferred Packers play. Buck Skull Gang in the house. I think that's who we're playing in the NFC finals, but out of all 4 of those teams, yeah, it's there. Yeah, I'm not wrong with that. What's the deal with number 18 named Johnson with the drops on both teams? I know. Just give him time. Like I said, just give him time. It's one of those things, again, where if Antonio Brown wasn't on the team and he was like forced into the role that Antonio Brown was, he'd eventually get there. But then there is the possibility that maybe 1 or 2 games are taken off of our win column. Like who knows? Or it stays the same, or we get more. Anyone who's seen Spider-Man knows in all of the multiverses, there's endless possibilities. So, and Loki, you really got to watch Loki too. Like Loki is absolutely amazing. Like I cried at the finale of how good that was. You're all right. Sorry, that's too much. Who would the Bucs rather face next weekend? Cardinals or the Rams? We did ask that earlier. Brent and sing for him. Brent and sings for him. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We did ask that, and I think if we're asking like the Bucs, who would they rather play? I think they would probably rather play the Cardinals too, though they probably don't care. They know that one of these teams is like, or both of these teams are dominant, so they're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll play both of them, one or the other. But more than likely, they probably want to play the Cardinals because they lost to the Rams, and they're like, we don't want to do that again. So I could see that. I definitely could see that. Moose aren't as big as feet. You'd be surprised, man. Like one of these days I'll get the pic. If I could, oh man, the picture. If I could, like you take a mental picture and like actually print it out, put it on the screen. I wish I could. Of the day, like I lived out in the country in Ontario, in Canada, and we went to the dump to go drop off some garbage, which is obviously in the middle of nowhere. So you go there and there's black bears basically everywhere. Like you're dumping them out and they're walking beside with their cubs and stuff saying hi to you. And you're like, hi. And as long as they don't like get too close with the paw, like you're fine. And as long as you don't like, go, yeah, they're not going to like chase after you or anything. But we're driving out and we got pine trees everywhere. It's all thick bush and brush all around. And the truck in front of us is like an actual semi truck, like the front of it, not the whole back, just the back of it. And it's got like this tiny, tiny little like makeshift trailer in the back. And he stops and we're like, what is he stalled or whatever? Like, what the hell? And my mom's like honking and stuff. And this moose, I kid you not, its horns touch the top of the truck. Like that thing literally just walked and looked at that truck and was just like, that's right, you will fucking stop. And just continue to walk away. And its shoulder blade, like the actual blade bone on those things are like that, like that, man. Like they're huge. And their meat is just so tender and good, man. But you don't screw with them. They charge you, you're dead. I've seen it happen. I've seen good people be lost to some pretty cute animals up here in Canada, okay? Just saying. Speaking of cute animals, my wife needs me because it is now late o'clock. I got to work tomorrow, and I got to get ready. I don't know what to wear tomorrow. It's Victory Monday, Victory Playoff Monday, where we get to go to work, showcase the first victory of the playoffs. We get to showcase our gear to all the people, get them intimidated, especially to all your Cardinals and Rams fans at work. If you got any of those coworkers, get them ready because we are hosting them next weekend for one of the biggest playoff games this year for us because it's the next one. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much for being here tonight. You have all been great. You have all been doing so good. Not being too cocky, not being too over worried or anything like that. Everybody is doing fantastic. Let's just stay in this nice little Buccaneer bubble of happiness and joy and just enjoy the ride while we're on it right now because we got 3 more games to go. Rams or Cardinals, one of those sons of guns are coming back to Raymond James for another chance at redemption on the Buccaneers. So who's it going to be? We'll find out, and I'll be here to talk about it next Sunday with you live on Bucs Report. Remember to follow me, Andrew Faubert, boom, at North Sports Dynasty on Twitter, also NSD on Facebook. Get at us, and make sure you follow Bucs Report for all your Tampa Bay Buccaneer updated news coming at you all week long. Love you all. See you next weekend. Ciao, ciao for now.
T-minus 20 seconds.